Hey everyone, my name is Naveen Malik and welcome back to Data Architect Diaries. Let me start with a question that has ended more Databricks interviews than any other. The interviewer leans forward and says, before we talk about Unity Catalog, just explain the Lakehouse architecture to me in one breath. And this is where most people freeze. They start listed buzzwords, Delta Parquet, Acid, Metastore, but they can't connect them. They sound like they memorize a brochure. Here is the truth I want you to walk away with today. In Databricks, you cannot separate governance from architecture. They are the same conversation, but if you understand the architecture, governance become obvious. And if you don't, governance feels like random rules. So in the next 15 minutes, I am going to give you the one break version, the version that makes an interviewer nod, and then I am going to go deep enough that you actually understand it, not just repeat it. So let's get into it. So what we are querying, quick roadmap so you know where we are going to. Okay, there are 4 stops. First one is the lake house in one breath, the single sentence you will memorize by the end. Second one, delta lake, which I call the trust layer. This is the piece that turns dump files into a real table. Third one, unity catalog, the governance brain. This is where access, lineage and audit actually live. The fourth one, the legacy you are replacing. The old Hive metastore introverts loves this contrast, and I will tell you exactly why. Cool, let's start with one breath answer. Okay, here is the whole things in one sentence, and I want you to actually say it out loud with me later. The lake house combines the cheap open storage of a data lake with the management, ACID transaction and performance of a data warehouse in one platform. That's it. That's the breadth. But a sentence you cannot explain is just a magic spell. So let me make it real. For years, we had two separate words. In one side, the data lake. You can dump anything in it, JSON, CSV, image, logs, Parquet, and it costs almost nothing because it's just object storage. In Azure, that's the ADLS Gen 2. But here is the problem with the lake, it has no rule, no guarantee. If two jobs write at the same time, you can get half written, corrupted data, so there is no concept of this table in a clean state. So over time takes root. We even have a name for it in the industry, a data swamp. Nobody trusts it, nobody know what is in it. On the other side, we had the data warehouse. This is the opposite personality. It's a strict, it is a clean, it's a reliable, it gives you ACID transaction, meaning your data is always in a correct, consistent state, queries are fast, everything is managed. But the warehouse has its own problem. It's closed and expensive. Your data is locked inside a proprietary system and scaling it costs serious money. And it really one likes near structured table. So it's not the great with the raw, messy or semi-structured data. So for a decade, architecture had to choose cheap and flexible but unreliable, or reliable but rigid and expensive. So the Lakehouse said, why not both? So take the cheap open storage of the lake. Keep your data as open files you own, then add a layer on top that gives you the reliability, the ACID guaranteed and performance of the warehouse. So one copy of your data, one platform, analytics, BI and machine learning all reading from the one governed source. Now that magic layer on top that turns the lake into something trustworthy that has a name. It's a called Delta Lake, and that's the where we are go next because this is the part most people get vague about. So let me ask you something. If your data is just a bunch of files sitting in cloud storage, how does it suddenly become a reliable table with ACID transactions? Files don't have transactions. Files are just bytes. The answer is one of the most elegant ideas in modern data engineering, and once it clicks, you will never forget it. Underneath, your data is stored as a Parquet file, and Parquet is an open columnar file format. So this is great for analytics and crucially open, meaning no vendor owns it. These files are immutable. Once written, they don't change. So now here is the clever part. Delta Lake adds a transaction log next to those files. It's literally a folder called Delta Logs. And inside it's an older list of JSON files. And every single change to the table, every insert, update, delete gets recorded as a new entry in this log. And at this moment, these files were added and these files were removed. So the log, not the files, it's the single source of truth for what the table looks like right now. Okay, let me give you a real scenario to make the concrete. Imagine two data engineers, let's call them Priya and Sam. Both run a job against the same sales table at the same exact time. Okay, Priya is appending yesterday's order, Sam is correcting some bad rows. In a plain data lake, this is a digester waiting to happen. Their writes could overlap and you would end up with a corrupted half-finished table. But with Delta Lake, each of them commits a transaction to the log. The log is ordered, so the system says Priya's commit lands first, Sam's landed second. Either a commit fully succeeded or it fully fails, never halfway. That is the A and the C in ACID. That is atomicity and consistency. So nobody ever sees a broken table. That is the first superpower. Now let me give you the other two because they come for free once you have this log. Then second one is time travel. Because every version of the table is recorded in the log. You can ask Databricks, show me this table as it looked yesterday at 3 p.m. or show me version 42. Let's take a scenario for this one. A bad pipeline run overwrite your customer table with garbage at 2 a.m. In the old world, you are restoring from backups and paying. With Delta, you run one command, restore table customer to version 41 and you are back. That's a 5-minute fix instead of 5-hour incident. This is also gold for audits. Prove what this data said on that day we made that decision. Time travel answer that. And the third one is schema enforcement. Delta checks the shape of incoming data before it's written. Let's take a scenario for this one also. Someone upstream change a column from a number to text, or a job accidentally sends an extra column. In the swamp, that bad data just follow up in a silently breaks every dashboard downstream. With schema enforcement, Delta says no, this does not match the table's contract and reject the write. So your table stays clean and trustworthy. So all three put it together. Delta Lake is a transaction log over open Parquet file, and that's one idea gives you ACID, time travel, and schema enforcement. On cheap object storage, that's the trust layer. That's what make a lake behave like a warehouse. But notice, everything I have said so far is about one table. Trust at the table level, governance is bigger than that. Governance is who is allowed to touch this table at all, who can see it, where did it come from. That is a different brain, and that brain is Unity Catalog. Let's discuss about 5 layers and each has a role in governance. Okay, so let me zoom all the way out and show you the whole stack bottom to top, because once you see how the layers sit on each other, governance stop being abstract. At the very bottom, cloud storage, ADLS generation 2. This is just the physical bytes, Parquet and Delta files sitting in containers, dump storage that will be cheap. One layer up, Delta Lake. We just covered this. It turns those bytes into trustworthy tables with ACID and time travel. Now the layer that everything pivots around, that is Unity Catalog. This is the governance brain. Unity Catalog knows who you are. It's identity aware. It knows what you are allowed to do, access control. It tracks where data came from and where it goes. That is lineage. It keeps an audit trail of every access. And it powers discovery so people can actually find the data they are allowed to use across the whole organization. And above that, compute your clusters and your SQL warehouse. This is just the engine where queries actually run. And at the very top, the workspace. That's the environment your users log into, that one. Now, here is the single most important sentence in this whole episode, and I want you to underline it. Many workspaces share one Unity catalog metastore. That's sinking. You might have a workspace for the marketing team, one for finance, one for data science. In the old world, each of these was its own little island with its own rules. But with Unity Catalog, there is one governance layer sitting above all of them, or at the account level, one place to define who can see what, one consistent permission model for the entire company. I want to give you the mental model that honestly separates people who get database governance from people who don't. Follow the arrow with me. A user runs a query. That query goes to the some compute, maybe a cluster, maybe a SQL warehouse. Does not matter which. Before that query can read a single byte, it hits Unity Catalog. And Unity Catalog asks two questions. Who is this person? And are they allowed to read this table? If yes, the query proceeds down to the delta files in ADLS generation 2 and returns the data. If no, access denied, right there. Here, why this is the part that sticks, the permission lives in the catalog, not in the cluster. Let's take a scenario. In the old days, security was tangled up with the cluster configuration. If an analyst spun up a different cluster or someone moved to a new workspace, the rules might not follow them. Security was inconsistent and frankly scary. With Unity Catalog, it does not matter what compute you use, what workspace you are in, or whether your query in SQL or Python. The same grant, the same rule decide who sees that every single time at query time. That's what makes governance in Databricks consistent and auditable. You define a rule once and it's enforced everywhere automatically. Write the rule in one place. It's true everywhere. That's the whole game. Okay, the last big piece, and this is the one that wins interview. The interviewer almost always asks, what did this replace? What was wrong with the old way? If you can answer this crispy, you instantly sound senior. So before Unity Catalog, Databricks used a Hive metastore, and the Hive metastore had one fatal flaw. It was scoped to a single workspace. One metastore, one workspace. So if your company had 10 workspaces, you had 10 separate disconnected catalogs, 10 islands. So how did you control access in that world? Top table ACLS and cluster configuration, and some things called credential pass-through, where the cluster itself carried the storage credential. It worked kind of, but it was fragmented. Permissions were defined per workspace in different places by different people. And worst of all, it was almost impossible to audit centrally. So if your security officer asked who can see customer data across the whole company, so nobody could answer that with confidence. There was no single place to look. So Unity Catalog fixes all of it by moving governance up to the accountant level. So one metastore now governs many workspaces. There is a single consistent permission model. And what will the bonus? It uses familiar ANSI SQL grants, the same grant select on. Syntax you already know. And lineage and audits are built in, out of the box. Now, when that security officer asks who can see customer data, you have one place, one answer. So here is your interval-ready contrast, nice and tight. The old Hive metastore was per workspace, fragmented and hard to audit. Unity Catalog centralized governance at the account level. One metastore, many workspace, one consistent permission model with lineage and audit built in. Say that's in an interview and was them node. Now let me look in the four things you should remember if you forget everything else. First one is the one breath answer. Lake economics, warehouse reliability, one platform. Delta adds acid over Parquet, Unity catalog governs it all. Second one, Delta Lake is trust. A transaction log over Parquet file, that single idea gives you acid, time travel and schema enforcement. The third one, Unity catalog is the brain. Account level, identity aware with lineage and audit built in. So one metastore, many workspace enforced at every time on any compute. The last one, the contrast. Hive was fragmented and per workspace. Unity catalog is centralized and consistent. So know it code for interview. And that's the Lakehouse architecture in one breath and then in a real depth. Next episode, we stop talking and start building. We will set up Unity catalog hands-on, the metastore, catalog, schema, and our very first grants. So real click, real sequel. So make sure you are subscribed and the bell is on because this series builds on itself episode by episode. If this made the Lakehouse finally click for you, do me a favor, hit like and drop a comment telling me which part was the aha moment. I read every single one. So until next time, keep building, keep governing. This is Naveen and take care. Thank you.